In terms of the deportations, what do we know about this deal?
Well, we know that this will soon become law. It will receive royal assent later in the week. So it's definitely going to happen after a couple of years of wrangling over it. Now what Rishi Sunak will be hoping will happen is that flights get off by the beginning of July, if not earlier. They might be hoping for a little bit earlier. That we then see a steady stream of deportations to Rwanda, that this does have a deterrent effect, and then it improves his poll ratings. Whether that's actually guaranteed to happen is a bit less certain.
He's had to kind of move heaven and earth to make this law and to put this law into the law books, this plan into the law books. Why has he put so much effort into this particular policy?
Well, he definitely wants you to think that he has moved heaven and earth to get this law passed, and in some ways he has. There have been challenges in the House of Lords, but the government has itself delayed on this a few times, despite describing it as emergency legislation, and that's because behind the scenes the logistics of this are really, really complicated, and I think there's still speculation in Westminster that actually the government aren't quite ready yet to get these flights off. We might hear more about that from the Rwandan side. But the reason he's put so much effort into this is that it's really the government's flagship policy and their last-ditch attempt to get a bit of a boost in the polls ahead of the general election later this year when they're way behind.
Absolutely, one of their key 5 policies, of course. Well, you set us up very nicely to bring in Ondiro Oganga, who's standing by in Kigali. Ondiro, let's cross over to you to get that perspective then from Rwanda, the logistics, the practicalities of this. How close is Rwanda to being ready to accept these deportations, these immigrants who are being deported to that country?
Tom, housing is ready. There are several hostels on standby, one of them being Hope Hostel in Kagugu that has a bed, a mosquito net and a pool table. And the government says it's not Babylon, but it's decent. They're also working on opportunities. They'll be teaching them Kinyarwanda, the national language, and job skills so that they can integrate them into the community and turn them into assets. However, this is not without skepticism. You know, Rwanda has been criticized by opposition leader Victor Ingabire as a country that is not democratic as compared to the UK. And so the good life that these asylum seekers are looking for, they're not going to find it in Rwanda.
Yeah, and of course there's been the criticism as well around Rwanda's human rights record as well. Is there any lingering doubt on the suitability of Rwanda to host these asylum seekers above and beyond what you've outlined for us?
Tom, for as long as the first flight takes off, then attention will be shifted back to Rwanda's legal and judicial system. And yesterday, Prime Minister Sunak said that necessary changes have been made to accommodate the legal needs of asylum seekers fairly and squarely once they get here. The government has said the criticism is unwarranted, and President Paul Kagame, in his tough-talking nature, has said that if these asylum seekers do not come here, they will give back the money.